They're teaching the babies how to fly. You can hear them. It's pretty cool. This is as far as my hose reaches. And it's a little short, but if I put it on center, it usually does pretty good. We are currently experiencing record high heat, power outages all over the country. I think it was the hottest last night in Mets history, playing our Braves. And fingers crossed, we've taken 2 games so far. There's 2 games left. So let's wish our Bravos some good luck. And if you are hearing my voice and seeing me water the back experimental garden, then you know that I'm in North Georgia. So I try to hit everything with at least 30 to 45 seconds of solid, consistent water. This is a little iffy because it just doesn't quite get as far down as I'd like it to. I should attach the rest of the hose from the front that I can't use right now. And I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing if I can get a moment to breathe between big projects at work. So that's where we are. You'll notice that I have weed eated back here though. So things are looking a little more tidy. My ever-present gardener, companion, and blanket. She's got this thing where she has to lay on me. Oh, look. You see that? Right there? That is a melon. Haha. So I've got some pretty exotic squashes and melons. Odd bee behavior. That's not a flower, little bee. What are you doing? 2 particularly damaging pests. This little guy and the potato bug. Yes, I have white on my fingers because I was painting until about midnight last night. And I always water before I shower because I usually get a little sweaty out here. So forgive my white powdery fingers. But these little guys, these are not ladybugs. They're potato bugs, and they are a little bit worrisome, troublesome to the garden. So, as best I can, I try to not get leaves real wet. Neither tomatoes nor squash do well when their leaves are wet. With squash, they have a tendency to mildew really bad and can get fungal diseases. And the same with tomatoes. Tomatoes like it hot and dry, but it's been a couple of days since it's actually been like 3 or 4 days since it's rained. We went from crazy volumes of rain to nothing, which is our usual moving into summer pattern. And we are finally just now in summer. So happy summer, y'all. Happy solstice. And as you can see, there are tons of tomatoes getting ready to ripen. They're doing very well. And there's another squash. There's like 3 or 4 varieties of squash in here, which is pretty cool. So one thing I want you guys to see, and that is the other pest. Let me see if I can pluck one off here. So, unlike the good nature of, ladybugs, these little bean beetles are nasties. I squish them when I see them. They are a larval stage of the bean beetle or potato bug. They're very similar. and just they'll wreck your garden. And they prefer beans and legumes, but they also will hatch. If you see the little grid seeds, there's 2 types of bugs that'll run grids for eggs on squash leaves, and one is the bean beetle, the other is the assassin bug or squash bugs, all those guys. And you want to try and nip that in the bud as soon as you see them. Got some more fruit coming here. Very cool. But other than that concentration, I'm not seeing a whole bunch. I am seeing a whole lot of bees though, and that's a really good sign. They're everywhere. I love it. We need them. So I'm just giving these guys a quick shot this morning. It's going to get super hot, and a lot of times if the soil is really wet and it gets super hot, especially if you have containers, it'll just basically cook your roots. So you don't want to do that either. It's also a possibility for you guys to, hey, to switch to evening and let these guys take a drink at night. Unfortunately, I have to work a long time today, so this is my only option. Yes, those are pumpkins back there too. If you look just above where my hose spout is, that is a miniature pumpkin, y'all. Or at least miniature for now. I don't know how much bigger it's going to get because I wasn't expecting pumpkins. I was expecting zucchini and squash. But everything's starting to ripen up. That is a very good thing. There's another one. Little pumpkin. I'm going to let the main raised bed go today and not water because I watered pretty heavy night before last. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Should have been a roper. There is I get one every year, just one. Giant, mammoth, multi-flowering sunflower. Pretty cool. So, carrots, rogue tomatoes, beautiful accompanying flowers, dahlias, all sorts of, this is the chaos garden over here. So it's a little bit of everything everywhere. And there's so many honeybees. Look at our honeybees this year. Ha ha ha. The onions are doing well. It's been a pretty good year so far. I will not complain. See if I have any blueberries ready. Yep, got one. It was so good. So I just finished watering so I could do a little more time teaching, instructing. These are cowpeas. So back at the start of the year when I'm like, hey, let's try these. I've never grown them before. This is what they look like. And they get very elongated, very thin. They're used in curries and porridges and stews. They're very high in protein, just like most legumes are. And it takes about 80 to 90 days for these little guys to harvest off. I also have, if I can find any, yep, do have one. These are beautiful purple. Now, they do not stay purple when you cook them. They turn green. They are really pretty and very tasty, almost a sweet flavor to the bean. And good raw. I eat a lot of beans raw. Skin is a little thicker, but so good. Now, these are the dragon's tongue. And they're really pretty purple. Hi, what are you doing? Really pretty purple and green. Pretty girl. She's become quite the young lady. She's a good girl. Myths and false legends. Raise them upright. And pitties are loving, loyal. They care about the whole flock, and she's got a lot of Pyrenees in her, so can't go wrong. Kale is still booming. Still have a few strawberries that are trying, but for the most part, strawberries are done this time of year. They have a tendency to do what you're seeing here. They'll get brown, and there's the AC. Gosh, that's so good. More tomatoes. I'm also vigilant for hornworms, so fingers crossed that it's not a horrible year for them, but I know they'll be here. You can see where I've picked other ones off. And the plant will eventually bounce back. It just takes a while. And you really got to stay on it. Like there isn't, like I'll come back out here tonight if I can get home before dark. Huh, that's okay though. Gosh, so many tomatoes. I can't wait. Stews, soups, collards are done. But the kale, that'll keep going. Since we're on the other side of the garden here. Close up and personal to how beautiful these sunflowers actually are. Grow. Asters are done. And look at how big this rosemary is getting out. They will winter over here in North Georgia. And they smell so good. And there's still basil and all kinds of good stuff in this side, even though I didn't plant this year. Plenty of seeds. And if you want your basil to last, you really just want to pick off the flowers. Now, at some point, if I didn't have a whole lot of pollinators in here, I would let some of the basil go, because they also make fantastic pollinators when they flower, just like anything does, herbs especially. But we'll go ahead and pluck these off. There we go. And just toss them aside, and who knows, we might get basil in the yard next year. If it smells kind of skunky, it's because of all of the herbs. Man, it's a good smell. But yeah, let's just go ahead and pick those off. Basil is one of those wonderful things that you can use, not just for tomatoes and red vinegar and mozzarella cheese, but all sorts of soups and spices. And yep, good call, Kaya. Let's get that grass out of there. Let's get the grass out. I do the same with the dill too. I try, and these are going to be flowers, so I just kind of pluck those off and let them continue to grow as long as I can. What I need to do is catch some trout, or get some salmon, or some other sorts of fish like flounder. And dill is so good for fish. It's good in other things too. It's good in Mediterranean sauces and dressings. But yep, we're gonna let it grow. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling right now. It is absolutely amazing. We have plenty of pollinator flowers with us this year, so I can just go ahead and get all this stuff off and let it continue to, and it'll multiply. Like when you pluck that, you can just pinch it, but it'll start out a couple more branches and keep going. What are you doing? Get it. Good girl. Look at how big these blueberries are. Of all of the things that I've grown that I haven't really tried before, I think I'm the most, well, I can't say that. I'm stoked about everything, but these are fantastic. And they're better than any grocery store. Great for breakfast too. All right, I'm gonna cut it off there because I gotta finish this up and get to work. But we'll do the patio next time. I hope you've enjoyed walking around the yard with me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching in the world, and I will see you on the patio in the next video. Cheers and happy growing from Jekyll at home.